just don't get hit. You've probably heard this phrase before. Maybe your friend said it when they were up 3 stocks against you. And while it's technically true and obviously easier said than done, there's a certain type of person that literally lives and dies by this phrase. They don't care about defense or patience, whatever that means. They want one thing and one thing only, to crush you as fast as humanly possible. As the name implies, glass cannons are pretty powerful on offense, but their defense or health is pretty much the opposite. But hey, like I said earlier, it doesn't matter if you don't get hit, right? The interesting thing about the glass cannon archetype is that the requirements for it are based on attributes and not necessarily playstyle. For example, zoners will always excel at hitting their opponents from distance. Naturally, every zoner, no matter what fighting game you're playing, will have a similar playstyle. They hit you at a distance where you can't hit back, and maybe they use projectiles or long normals to do so. But the only requirement for glass cannons are to hit hard on offense and be weak on defense, or have a small health bar, sometimes both. This means that glass cannons could look like this, or even this. They aren't specifically tied to a playstyle, which is why I like to think of glass cannon as a sub-archetype. So today, I want to talk about some of my favorite glass cannon characters, and how different their playstyles can be. Today's video is sponsored by Royal Match. Royal Match is a free-to-play puzzle game with no ads. Let me say that again, no ads whatsoever. You can relax and enjoy over 4,500 levels without any interruptions. The game progresses as you help King Robert renovate his castle and sometimes save him from danger. If you ever get stuck on a puzzle, you can join a team to help you. And if you're looking for more of a challenge, you can compete in local and global championships. Royal Match also has an endless variety of events and different ways to progress through the game. It's always engaging. So if you're looking to relax and have some fun, as well as directly support this channel, download Royal Match for free with my link in the description. Again, thank you to them for sponsoring, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. Guilty Gear is known for its really unique characters. Sometimes it feels impossible to categorize them because they can be wildly different from traditional archetypes. I mean, they have a fighting bed for crying out loud, but the series does have a glass cannon character. Now you might be thinking of Chip, and while he certainly is made of glass, he doesn't really have a cannon. It's more like a Nerf gun, to be honest. In my opinion, there's another character that fits the description better, and that is Nagoriyuki. Nago is basically a glass cannon on steroids. The game describes him as one shot, and I think that's pretty accurate. If things don't go your way, you're dead because of Nago's blood rage mechanic. He gets access to special moves at the cost of filling up his blood gauge. And I'm talking like really good special moves. He gets a teleport, he can spin like a Beyblade and it's neutral and block so you can throw it out whenever you want, a 2-hit slash that does a decent amount of damage, and a clone that acts like a projectile. Every bar of blood that fills up increases the speed and power of his normals, but at the same time it increases the amount of damage that he takes, really amplifying that glass cannon aspect. This becomes even more extreme when he goes into blood rage. His health bar completely depletes and his normals become ranged and extremely powerful. Sort of turns into a glass cannon zoner at that point. In the world of platform fighters, glass cannons can kind of benefit from how different the landscape is from traditional fighters. You have way more space to stall out your opponent, and when defense isn't on your side, it's a pretty nice change to have. In Brawlhalla, it's easy to tell right away what archetype the characters are because their stats are displayed directly below them. There are 6 legends that I consider glass cannons because they're a part of what I like to call the 2 defense club. In Brawlhalla, you can alter any of the 4 stats by adding a point to it at the cost of removing one from a different stat. And since all of these characters have a base of 3 defense, they can have 2 defense by altering one of the stats. Let's look at Jiro for example. He's not the strongest in the group, but adding 1 point of speed gives him an insane stat line of 8 speed, 7 dexterity, and 5 strength. Ignoring the 2 defense, that's pretty good, essentially making him a glass cannon rushdown, which is kind of ironic because you want to be up close, but that also makes you vulnerable, and it only takes 3 sigs to put him into red health. However, if you do manage to harness the power of not getting hit, you can unlock Jiro's true potential. If you're in the Brawlhalla scene, I'm sure you've seen some of Xup's videos on how Jiro is underrated, but before that, a pro player by the name of Phazon has been pioneering the Jiro meta for a while now, and the Madman even used him in tournaments a couple times. In top 8 of a tournament, he was up 3 stocks to 1 against one of the hardest hitting legends in the game. But of course, when you're a glass cannon, nothing is ever that simple. Due to the non-existent defense, he ended up losing that game, and unfortunately the set. And that's probably why we don't see much Jiro in competition. But hey, if he didn't get hit, things would have been different. But Jiro did win the Spring Championships last year, so the potential is definitely there. But a glass cannon that you've probably seen a lot in esports is Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff also benefits from the space that platform fighters give. She has really good aerial movement, making it easier for her to recover and harder for her opponents to contest. Her notorious rest move can kill at insanely low percentages, but you gotta make sure it connects because the range is very small and you're left vulnerable for about 30 frames. So if you use the move, make sure it kills. Jigglypuff heavily relies on a hit and run kind of playstyle, as trading blow for blow with characters isn't viable with low health. This is also why people hate playing against Puff, because not only are you going for straight hits the whole game, it also makes it a lot slower, especially if they're just evading the whole time. And of course I can't mention this character without mentioning Hungrybox, a prominent pro player in the Smash scene and often regarded as one of the best players. He's won a lot of major tournaments with this character, and all I gotta say is it's never over until the last stock is taken.
What? Oh my god, he's gonna get the goal! He gets the read! And he gets the and H-box! What? How is he so clutch?
Now Puff isn't the perfect character, but what happens when you give a character a good counter to almost everything? Well, you get Akuma. In Street Fighter V, Akuma virtually had an answer for anything you threw at him. We know he's a Shoto, so he's a balanced archetype with a fireball, a shuriken, and a tatsu. But on top of that, he has multiple fireballs that can be shot at different angles, which is something a zoner would have. He has a demon flip that gives him nice mix-up options, and a teleport he can use at any time. And if you decide to spend all your meter anyway, you have the choice between his regular super and the raging demon. He has everything you want in a character, except for his health. He has the lowest health and stun in the game alongside Seth. It only really takes 3 good combos to put him in stun. But I mean, again, does it matter if you just block everything? Tokido has dominated with this character over the years, and he's considered to be one of the greatest Street Fighter V players of all time. At worst, he's top 2. I would also like to see how Akuma would look in Street Fighter 6 too. And last but not least, maybe the most controversial pick on this list, Makoto. Honestly, I contemplated for a while whether she should be on this list just because of how hard it is to categorize her. Is she a rushdown, a grappler, maybe something else? But I do think you can make the argument for her subtype to be glass cannon, and here's why. We know she can steal rounds, I mean that's a given, both in Street Fighter 4 and especially Third Strike. But with how slow her movement is, it forces her to commit to fast attacking moves to keep up the pressure, and if those moves don't land, it can get ugly. In Third Strike, she has the slowest light attacks and a wide hitbox, making it easier for her opponents to juggle her. And in Street Fighter 4, she has a total of 950 health points, which is below the average. So she has slow movement and low health, but her offense is really good. I mean, she sounds like a glass cannon to me. But yeah, that's my list of glass cannon characters that I find interesting. Let me know which character was your favorite, or maybe there's one that should have been on this list. Also, who would you remove from the list? As always, check out my other fighting game videos if you haven't. Join the Discord to hang out with us, and I hope you guys have a great day. Peace. This is kinda awkward. The video isn't 8 minutes yet. Now I'm totally not just trying to lengthen the video, but my Discord channel is really dead. I want to revive it so badly, but I just haven't had time to post or anything like that. But I'd really appreciate it if you join. There used to be a lot of people, and now there's a few of us, but we still talk. I mean, sometimes. I just don't want it to be dead anymore, okay?